All right, Unit 1, Form of 3, Day 3, Fractions. Now, I know we've all seen fractions and been working with fractions for a long time. So this is a little brush up, just a little remind everybody about fractions. They're in everyday's life. They're going to be in our algebra class, so we're going to brush up a little bit. Just a couple things to remember. The numerator, okay, is the top number. Denominator is the bottom number, okay? And I'm going to be using numerator and denominator quite a bit. A mixed fraction is when you have a whole number and a fraction together. Okay, that's mixed. Improper is when you have your numerator is larger than your denominator. So 10/3. All right, number 1, we have 2/7 plus 3/7. Now here, my denominators, okay, which are these, are the same. So that's nice. We have to have a common denominator when you add or subtract fractions. They're the same. So when our denominator is the same, we're just going to take our numerators here, the 2 and the 3, and add them. So 2 plus 3 is 5, and my denominator stays the same. So my answer is 5/7. Okay. Number 2, I have 3/4 minus 1/4. Again, my denominators are the same. So we know that all I have to do is take my numerators and go 3 minus 1 is 2. So we have 2/4. Now, a couple things in algebra, you need to always make sure you simplify your fraction. 2/4 can be simplified to 1/2. Okay, remember 2 will go into both of them. So we're going to divide both of them by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Alright, so now we have 1/3 plus 5/6. Now here, our denominators are not the same. We need to make them the same. So we need to find a number that 3 and 6 will go into. Now if you want, you can make a list. Okay, let's make multiples of 3. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on. Okay, now 6 is 6, 12, 18, and so on. So you want to find the smallest or the least common denominator. So the smallest number that they'll both go into. And it is 6. So my common denominator is going to be 6. Okay. Now this one already has a denominator of 6, so I'm just going to bring down the 5. Okay. This one, however, does not have a denominator of 6. So you're going to look, what can I do to 3 to get 6? Well, I'm going to multiply by 2. Okay, 3 times 2 is 6, so you got to do the same thing to the numerator. Fractions are a lot like equations. You know, when you add 2 to one side, you have to add 2 to the other. Well, fractions, when you multiply the denominator by 2, you also need to multiply the numerator by 2. Okay? Now I have a common denominator. Okay, and then 2 plus 5 is 7. And in algebra, we prefer improper fractions to mixed numbers. So we're going to leave that improper. Just make sure it's in lowest terms. Okay. All right, 4/5 minus 2/3. So we have different denominators. Okay, so we want to find the least common denominator, or the least number that it'll go into, and I got 15. Okay, so again, in order to get 5/15, I'm going to multiply by 3, so I need to do the same thing with the 4. So 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, now to go from 3 to 15, I multiplied by 5. So I'm going to do the same thing with the 2. Okay, now we have common denominators. So 12 minus 10 is 2. And 2/15 is my answer. All right, multiplying and dividing. Okay, multiplying and dividing. When you're multiplying, you just need to multiply straight across. So I'm going to take 1 times 4, and I get 4. And then 3 times 5, and I get 15. Just make sure it's in simplest form. You're good to go. Another thing you can look for, in this case it didn't happen, to see if you can cross cancel. Like, is there something the 1 and the 5 will go into? Okay. All right, 6, division. Okay, division, we need to change to multiplication. So we're going to take 2/3. Okay. Change our division to multiplication. Okay. And then our second fraction, we're going to take the reciprocal, or we're going to flip it, which would take it to 6/5. Okay. Division, we always change to multiplication, okay? And you always change the second fraction of the one after the division sign, okay? And now it's multiplication, so we're just going to multiply straight across. 6 times 2 is 12. Okay, and 3 times 15, or 5 is 15. Now, 12/15ths, they have something in common. A 3 will go into both of them. So we're going to divide both of them by 3. Okay, 12 divided by 3 is 4, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So our answer is 4/5. Now another thing you can do, back here we had 2/3 times 6/5. What I was talking about earlier, you can look and see a 2 and 5. Will anything go into both of those? No. But 3 and 6, 3 will go into both of those. So you can simplify early. 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 6 two times. And then 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. Get the same answer. Okay, that's it. Have a great day.